Hey anglers, I'm Captain Lance Valentine. Let me be the first one to welcome you into my great place, the Captain's Cafe. This is the culmination of really a lifelong dream for me and my chance to share my passion and my knowledge about fishing to help you catch more fish. You know, I was lucky. My grandparents had a cabin in northern Michigan on the Asaba River. I grew up loving fishing, and not just catching fish, but the pursuit of fish and the process that went into catching those fish and understanding how fish worked, what they ate, and how to catch more. I remember as a young teen telling my grandfather, I'm going to make a living someday in the fishing industry. Grandpa kind of laughed and said, you know what, get a good job, get an education, enjoy your time, retire, then you can go fish. I said, Grandpa, you don't really get it. I'm going to teach people how to fish to make a living. Well, life got busy. I got married, got a real job, went through real life, and stopped fishing, actually, believe it or not, for almost 5 years. I never put a line in the water. Kind of hurt my soul. Then one day I got back fishing with a couple friends in the fall. I thought, man, this is what I'm supposed to do. And I started out creating my dream of being a full-time angler and helping people catch more fish. In 1996, I did my first seminar in Novi, Michigan at Outdoor Rama, standing on stage, sharing that stage with Twiggy the water skiing squirrel and the women of water sports. What an experience that was. I was going to set the world on fire, and there were 3 people in the crowd. My dad, the guy he brought, and I'm pretty sure someone who was lost, but was nice enough to stay for my whole seminar. From that, the passion to help people catch more fish really started to burn bright. I always wanted to be a tournament angler, and I tried tournament fishing. Local circuits like the Michigan Walleye Trail was full of great anglers. I fished as an amateur on the professional walleye trail and then got to actually live my dream, be a pro fisherman on the professional walleye trail for a couple of years. Well, unfortunately, I wasn't very good at tournament fishing. My wife made a great suggestion. At this time, we were doing our Walleye 101 series of seminars. I was traveling all over Michigan and Ohio, teaching people how to fish, mostly at Gander Mountain stores. I had a little following of people who believed in what we were teaching. She said, why don't you become a charter captain? And my answer was, who would ever pay me to go fishing? Well, luckily, there were folks in our audience who wanted to learn how to fish hands-on, and my charter business started. From that time, my passion turned completely to what I could help other people catch and not what I caught. My life changed, I got happier, and I get up every single day with one mission: to help anglers become better at their sport. That's how Teaching Fishing came about. We wanted to take everything we did in the walleye world and transfer it to bass, crappie, bluegills, bluefish, snook, any species of fish, any location, any angler. We have a system that we know works. We want to share it with you so you can catch more fish no matter what you fish for and where you fish. We also want you to understand that by using our system, if you're an Alabama crappie troller, you're going to learn something listening to a Lake Erie walleye troller. If you fish for largemouth bass and heavy cover, you can teach a walleye guy how to catch those walleyes when they're in the heavy weeds. It all works together, and anything we can learn can apply to where and when we fish. So, we built the Captain's Cafe. We've got top people here. I've got some of the best anglers that I know are going to come into studio and talk to you how to catch their favorite species. It's going to be fun. It's going to be enjoyable. We're going to laugh. I'm probably going to bobble. There'll probably be a pretty good blooper reel at the end of the year, but I'm just going to pass on my passion for helping people catch more fish. Sometimes you come to a spot in life where your life changes. And for me, this is one of those times. Taking everything I've wanted to do, bringing it to one place with all the people I care about, we are going to have so much fun, and I'm so thankful that you're here. So let's get started. Stay tuned. We're going to show you our process of catching more fish, what we call the 8 steps. Take a few minutes, watch our studio show, understand what we're doing, lay a good foundation, because those 8 steps are the foundation of everything we're going to teach over the years in our Teaching Fishing platform. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to live my dream and share my passion with you. I'm Captain Lance Valentine. Let's go to the 8 steps. Fishing, a fun activity that anyone can enjoy. A chance to be outside in nature, enjoy the relaxing atmosphere of being on the water, and create lifelong memories with family and friends. You know, whether you started fishing as a youngster like I did, or you've come to the sport later in life, we're all looking for the same answer every time we're on the water. how to catch more and bigger fish. On this program, I'm going to explain to you the 8 steps to catching more and bigger fish, the foundation of everything we're going to do here at Teaching Fishing. Over the course of the season, I'll introduce you to some of the best anglers I know and how they catch their favorite species. By combining their knowledge about their favorite species into our 8-step formula, we're going to make it very easy for you to catch more and bigger fish every time you go fishing.
Rytech Marine, makers of custom-designed transducer mounts and gimbal brackets. Great sonar performance starts with a quality transducer mount, and Rytech has the mounting option for any brand on any boat. Rytech Marine, making life a little easier on the water. Worldwide Marine Insurance. Don't get caught with a loss to find out you have the wrong insurance for your boat and fishing gear. Contact Bob Llewellyn today for a free checkup of your current coverage. Worldwide Marine Insurance. Anglers insuring anglers.
Catching more and bigger fish, whether it be farm pond bluegills or walleye in the open water of the Great Lakes, takes a plan. You know, I've been very lucky, and for over 20 years I've had a chance to teach fishing seminars. And when I started, I knew I needed a plan, a system, a way for my students to understand and use the information I was giving them to help them catch more fish every time on the water. From that need, the 8 steps to catching more and bigger fish was born. Here's a quick look at our 8 steps to catching more and bigger fish. They are: step number 1, be in the right location. Step number 2, be in the right depth of water. Step number 3, know how deep the fish are so we know how deep our lures need to be. Step number 4, lure speed. Step number 5, lure size. Step number 6, lure shape. Step number 7, lure action. And last, step number 8, lure color. By listing the variables needed to catch a fish in order of importance, it's very easy to gather, use, and analyze data on the water to catch more and bigger fish, but make those decisions based on facts, not feeling. Notice we break our 8 steps down in 2 distinct parts. They are the where, or what we call above the line, and the what we call below the line. This distinction is very important. Remember, the wrong lure in the right place can still get bit, but the right lure in the wrong place has no chance of ever getting bit. Are you paying more attention to step number 8 and not getting step number 1 right? Take a few seconds to review our 8 steps and ask yourself a simple but very important question: am I fishing backwards?
Warrior Lures, custom designed and painted spoons, blades, and crankbaits for any species of fish. Check out the complete line of Warrior products, including the new Warrior XL Flutter Spoon, online or at your local tackle retailer. Proudly made in Michigan. Traxtech Fishing Systems, manufacturer of high-quality mounting track, rod holders, electronics mounts, downriggers, and fishing accessories. Any angler, any species, any boat. Traxtech Fishing Systems, proudly made in Michigan.
Step 1 in our 8 steps to catching more and bigger fish is being in the right location. This is the first and most important step to catching more fish every time you're on the water. And right now, all we're trying to do is find a general location of the body of water so we can start looking for active fish. Use factors such as time of year, water temperature, available bait fish, available cover, and the fish's mood to get you in an area where active fish should be. We can also do a lot of this at home by doing some pre-trip planning. Reviewing old and current fishing reports, looking at fishing maps, and using the Teaching Fishing Resource Center can all lead us to the right location before we even leave home. Our second step, the right depth of water. Using factors such as water temperature, time of year, and available forage can lead us to the productive depth of water every time we're fishing. To easily find that productive depth, here's a few tips. In the springtime, most fish will be shallow because that's the warmest water. But remember, shallow doesn't mean the shore just out to 8-10 feet of water. It can also be the top part of the water column over deeper water. As spring gives way to summer and water temperatures get warmer, fish will move deeper if there's cover and bait fish available in that deeper water. In midsummer, fish can be shallow or deep depending on where you're fishing. If you're in a body of water that has a thermocline, there's no oxygen in deep water, and all the fish are forced to use the middle part of the water column or can be pushed into shallow, heavy cover, especially weeds. In early fall, turnover happens, and now the lake is the same temperature from top to bottom, which means fish can be anywhere. But once fall sets in the low 50-degree temperature range, fish have a tendency to start to move towards deeper basin areas, especially those surrounded by steep sloping structures. Now that we're in the right location and at a productive depth, it's time to start using our sonar to find active fish. Step 3, depth of fish. Knowing the depth of the fish we're targeting before we start fishing is absolutely critical to catching more fish faster. By staying inside our general location from step 1 and in our water depth from step 2, we now start using our sonar to zero in and to find active fish and know how deep our lures need to be. Here's a few factors to think about. Fish get more active as they come off the bottom. Fish in open water have a tendency to feed up, so keep your lures above them. And lures that are placed at or below the fish's level have a tendency to not be productive. Remember that finding fish in their depth before putting lures in the water allows us to get all of our lures at a depth the fish can see. Now that we've got enough information to make some good guesses about step 1, 2, and 3, it's time to go below the line and start fishing. But remember, always focus on being in the right place and the right depth, because the wrong lure in the right place still has a chance to catch a fish.
Fishhawk Electronics, providing lure speed and water temperature at any depth. Featuring hardwired models X4 and X4D and the new portable X2, anglers can have the Fishhawk advantage anywhere they fish. Trolling without a fishhawk is simply called boating. Max Lure, the original since 1969. Catch more fish with the wedding ring spinner, smile blade, double D Dodger, flashlight attractor, and more. Max Lures, a legacy of innovation for 50 years.
Now that we're in the right location, in the right depth, and we know how deep our lures need to be, let's go below the line and actually start catching fish. Step 4 is lure speed. And lure speed is the most critical and most important of the steps below the line, and luckily it's the easiest to manipulate. Let's talk about a few factors to think about when you determine the best lure speed every day. The best way to find a good lure speed is to know what forage fish the game fish are feeding on and mimic that speed. But changes in speed can also produce a lot of fish. Stopping, slowing, speeding up the motor when you're trolling, or using S-turns can all produce more fish. And when you're casting, use stop and go retrieves and change the rhythm of your cadence and your retrieve speed. In general terms, warmer water means faster speeds and colder water means slower speeds, but don't be afraid to go too fast or too slow for the conditions and let the fish tell you what's going to work. Step 5 is lure size. Matching your lure size to the fish's forage is a great place to start, but don't be afraid to try lures that are a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. Bigger lures can excel in cold water, and they're also a great choice for fishing in heavy cover or dirty water since they're easier for fish to locate. When faced with very clear water or frontal conditions, smaller lures may be your best choice. Remember, fish can get very size picky, so try different lure sizes until the fish show you a preference. Step 6 is lure shape. Remember that lure shape is always more important than color. Fish are looking for something that looks natural to them and should match the forage they're feeding on. Long, skinny shaped baits have a tendency to work best at slow speeds, whereas short, fat shaped baits have a tendency to work best at fast speeds. Make sure you have shapes that mimic several species of bait fish, crayfish, and other natural forage in your tackle box. And when you're buying lures and stocking your tackle box, be sure to have lots of different shapes before you start buying lots of different colors. Step 7, lure action. Now, lure action is the final result of steps 4 through 6, lure speed, lure size, and lure shape. In general terms, soft, subtle action lures work better in cold water, and faster, aggressive moving lures work better in warmer water. The action of a crankbait is determined by the bill size, bill shape, and the position of the line tie. You can get multiple actions out of the same lure just by adjusting the line-lure connection. By using snaps, swivels, or knots, we can get different actions on the same bait, and it's important every day to experiment until we get the perfect action. Step 8, lure color. While lure color can be an important factor to how many fish we catch every day, Remember, it's not important until all the other steps are right. And on most days, contrast is more important than having the right color. If we're targeting fish in open water or fishing surface lures, make sure we pay attention to the color on the bottom, not the top. Brightly colored lures can trigger inactive fish, and they're one of my favorites when I'm fishing in heavy cover, since subtle, naturally colored lures have a tendency to blend into the cover. When I'm fishing clear water, pressured fish, or frontal conditions, I like to choose natural, subtle colored lures to give me a chance to catch those pressured fish. And one of the ways I like to figure out the best color every day is put multicolored lures in the water and let the fish show me their preference.
Macklin Heating and Cooling, experts in the installation, maintenance, and service of home comfort systems. Family owned and operated in mid-Michigan for 50 years, Macklin Heating and Cooling, where your comfort matters to us.
ProCure Bait Scents, manufacturer of high-quality bait scents, cures, and dyes. Made with whole fresh bait, ProCure scents perfectly mimic what fish eat every day. ProCure, helping anglers worldwide catch more big fish.
There it is, our 8-step formula to catching more and bigger fish. I know that if you use our 8 steps, you're going to become a better angler and catch more fish regardless of where you fish or what you fish for. In the upcoming season, we're going to break down and talk in detail about each of the 8 steps and also be joined by some of the best anglers we know as they share how they use the 8 steps to catch their favorite species. I'm Captain Lance Valentine, and thank you so much for joining us today on this first episode of the 8 Steps. So there you go, anglers, our 8 steps to catching more and bigger fish, the foundation of everything we're going to do here in the future at Teachin' Fishin'. Watch that again, make sure you understand it, because everything we're going to teach is going to fit into one of those 8 steps, and that's going to be the easiest way for you to get information and make sure you can use it to catch more fish every time you're fishing, no matter what you're fishing for. All right, we've got to thank a few people real quick. We've got to thank our staff, our crew, and most importantly, we got to thank our sponsors. They make this possible. You know, we built this wonderful Captain's Cafe. We got this great platform to help you catch more fish, and it wouldn't be possible without the support of all of our sponsors. So thank you to them, and most importantly, thank you to you. Now, we're going to do our first Teachin' Fishin' giveaway with this program. So here's what I need you to do if you want to win. Go like and follow the Teachin' Fishin' Facebook page. Then send me a message, not a post, a message with these 2 pieces of information. Number 1, what state you're watching from, and number 2, the answer to this question. What is step number 4 in the 8 steps to catching more and bigger fish? When we kick off our website February 1st, we're going to announce the winner from each state, and that winner is going to get a Teachin' Fishin' swag bag that includes a Teachin' Fishin' hat, a Teachin' Fishin' t-shirt, and your own Teachin' Fishin' sweatshirt to let your fishing buddies know that you're serious about catching more fish. Hey, thanks again for joining us. Can't wait to be with you and help you catch more fish over the course of this season. I'm Captain Lance Valentine, and stay tuned for more exciting fishing information here on the 8 Steps.